Good morning. Good morning. What is it? Good morning, Vietnam. Y'all remember that? Good morning, Vietnam with Robin Williams, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. This is Pastor Nick. Hey, if you got a text message this morning reminding you about the show, would you put a thumbs up in the chat? Or no, don't put a thumbs up because everybody put I got a text. We sent out a text this morning. And yeah, look here. And you got to look at the thing.
Not up there?
Yeah, you can't look down. You can look right
Looking
there.
up here now.
That's fine.
No, that's good.
Yeah, it's perfect. That's good, yeah. Anyway, or you could just look here. Just look at the video.
Oh, okay.
And you're fine. You just can't look down. You were looking down. Yeah. Anyway, good morning, everybody.
Anyways, good morning, everybody.
Okay, Annie got a text. Thank you, Annie. So yeah, if you got a text message this morning, I want you to put in there that you got a text. I'm trying to test out our texting service. I think they use what's called a long code, and what a long code means in texting is they don't send it out. No, yeah, I just need to know if you got one. If you did not, well, I'm going to say this at the end of the show. That way, then we can make sure our list is updated. I'm going to put a QR code next week so everybody can go on and check their information and make sure we have the right information on you. That way, we make sure we are communicating with you. So again, if you got a text message, Ashley said she got one. If you got a text message this morning from us, put in there you got a text message. Amen. Listen, I want to get started this morning. Thank you all for joining. I'm really, really excited about today because we're going to start a new about 6-7 week series. I encourage all married couples to just join, whether you come to the church, don't come to the church. If you know married couples, get them to join this, because what we're going to talk about is 5 pillars of what?
Lasting marriage.
A lasting marriage. 5 pillars of a lasting marriage. Remember a while back, we talked about one of our things. Are you drifting or are you growing together? Are you drifting apart from each other? Or are you growing closer to each other? So that's the main theme of what we want to talk about over the next 6 weeks. We want to teach people what are the checkpoints. Now, I'm just going to tell y'all right out of the gate, you can keep coming to Wednesday. You could keep coming to church. I think you talked about a little bit in your women's meeting, and Natifa talked about it last night it was funny on the leadership meeting, a little bit what God put in my heart for today, which I haven't even talked to you about, was you called it phony holiness, I think. Tifa explained it really good.
Yeah.
But I think there are a lot of phony married people. In other words, they're not, you don't want to be married. You don't want to have a successful marriage. You don't really even love your husband, or you don't love your wife. You're just with them because it's convenient. You're with them because you're tired. Maybe you got some kids that are not quite grown yet, but you really don't want a godly, successful marriage because you don't care. I find this out through a conversation I had with a lot of married people around intimacy. And I'm not talking about just sex. I'm talking about all around intimacy. Just intimacy, going out to dinner and just talking to each other versus being on. I got to really watch my wife now because she's starting to be on the phone as much as me. So now I got to be careful because she's emulating me. She's just copying what I do. So now I got to be mindful, leave my phone in the car at dinner so I can enjoy my wife. It's an intimate time. If we go out to dinner and we're spending time together and it's away from everything and we're talking and we're fellowshipping and we're, doing those things, right? So not just sex, but even with sex, people, I don't care how long you've been married. Sex is important in a marriage. Very important. Dating your wife is very important.
Very.
And wives, you can't say, well, because my husband doesn't date me, I'm not going to have sex with him. That doesn't work neither. No. So there's this tit for tat going on. And what I like is when we have the one person in the marriage is supposed to be this faith giant, ministry call, all this stuff on their life, but yet they can't love their husband or they can't love their wife.
Sustaining grace.
Yeah, if you're married, listen to me. Let me give all of y'all something, because most of y'all on here believe y'all have a call of God on your life. If you're married and you think you have a call of God on your life and you can't make it work with your husband or make it work with your wife, you don't have a call. You better go talk to God about it, because either you don't have a call, you don't understand your calling, or you don't understand God. There's something broken there. So that's what we really want to talk about in this whole series, because today what we want to talk about is the power of shared faith and shared values.
Vision.
The power of shared faith and shared values. So over the next several weeks, what I want to do is I want to talk to you from some research we've done from 42 years of us being in marriage, from the years of us not being in agreement and being in agreement. We want to talk about what destroys a marriage. We want to talk about what builds marriages. Well, Pastor, I don't plan on being married again. You can apply this to relationships. Well, Pastor, I'm not married yet. You can apply this to getting married. Okay. So this applies to everything. So this week, I want to start with drifting apart spiritually, right? What happens when we start drifting apart in a marriage? What happens when we start drifting apart in a friendship? Let's take it outside of marriage. What happens when we start drifting apart with our mothers and our fathers, or our sisters and our brothers? A lot of this comes because sometimes your values
are different.
Your faith changes. And with some people, it's okay that you drift apart, right? But in marriage, one of the greatest myths about marriage is that love is enough.
That's a myth.
That's a myth. Love is important, right? Attraction is important. But let me tell you something, man. I know for a fact, Frannie loved me when I was fine as wine. I looked good. And she loved me when I became a big fat pizza. That's what she used to call me. Fat pizza. Yeah, used to call me Fat Pizza. That was my name. She loved me when I was 165 and I was built like a piece of steel and I was a fighter. And she loved me when I was 340 and I looked like Shamu. So attraction is important, but compatibility, that's important. These things are important, but none of these things will guarantee a lasting marriage. I'm telling you. And after 42 years of marriage, Pastor Frannie wants to say something. Pastor Frannie and I have learned one thing. Marriage can survive a lot of things, but it struggles when two people are moving in different directions. What do you want to say?
I was thinking about when you were talking there about even relationships. I think you had said that I was talking about compatibility, attraction, and all that's important. Nothing is important, and that love is important, attraction, but none of it is really basically without God. But I think it made me go back to the ones on here that's not married yet,
right?
And in relationships,
right?
But just think about those things. These are the things we look at instead of thinking about. God tells us to look at: are we compatible for the word in Him? But we look at all these other things,
right?
Attractions and all these other things. I know attraction is important, but we don't look at what God says, looking for that in a mate. A lot of times we're looking for, how am I trying to say this? Okay, this is what I'm trying to say. You know how when you in a relationship, a new one, and you know you don't like that person. You know you don't like that person, but yet you talk to them because you both, you're getting fed. Your egos are being fed, or the validations being fed, but it's not someone that you really want to be with. So I think sometimes we do this with God. We choose, we wait for our dream girl and our dream guy. And we choose, we really not choosing God. We're waiting on that. And I think some of this, why we end up being married, like that's what you were saying. You're married and don't even want to be married. You're married to people you don't love. I think it started like that, bonding. And people we really don't even care for in dating.
Yeah. So Pastor Frannie's on her new book now.
I'm running all over,
which has nothing to do with our show today.
It'll come back home. It'll come back home down here.
She's talking to you singles right now. She's writing a book for y'all. That's why she's doing this, because she wants to now start talking to some of the single folks.
Yeah, I get tired and I think further down. Go ahead.
Okay, but she'll tie it in. It was really, it's all good because
it's huge.
What's good for marriage too, guys, is some of you got married for the wrong reason.
That's what I'm saying.
Do the wrong choices. But here's the thing.
You're married.
You're in it now.
Right.
Right. And here's the thing we got to understand. Marriages don't explode, they drift. That's the key. Mm-hmm. Marriages don't explode, they drift. And many times the drift starts spiritually.
Right.
That's the key. We got to grab hold of the one pillar that's the most important pillar, and that is marriage is a covenant with God. So write this down. Point number one, every marriage is moving somewhere. So it's either moving closer to unity or it's drifting apart, right? Amos 3:3 says, can two walk together unless they what? Agree. Notice the Bible does not say, can two walk together at least they love each other. It asks, do they agree? Agreement is deeper than affection. Agreement is deeper than attraction. Agreement is deeper than physicality. Agreement is values. Agreement is priority. Agreement is direction. And agreement is purpose. That's the key, right?
Right. So two people can love each other and still struggle if they are pursuing different things.
That's the thing. And that's what happens. They start to pursue these different things, right?
Right. Well, but sometimes you get one wants God.
Right.
And then you get one that wants the world.
Right. You know what? One thing I love about Harry and Lakeisha's story, you know, Harry, when he met Lakeisha, I think he was very religious, but I don't think he was as committed to God.
Right. I agree.
And he really got in the church and he made a decision. And sometimes it can be hard for a man, especially if they have a strong wife. A lot of men can't handle that.
Right.
So they well, that's her thing. That's her God. But no, he got in and he
did
recognize, well, he's got to call God on his life.
Right.
That's the thing. And that's what really, he doesn't know it yet, but I think he knows it, but that's what drives him. But it was just so awesome the way he got in there and and now it's all over him. He ain't got nothing to do with Lakeisha no more. Now it's his thing.
Right. It's God.
Right. Because it is God. So you can't be where one wants God and one wants the world.
Right.
That's a real problem.
Right.
Now, if that's the case, then ladies, if that's you, or men, if that's you, you got to pray. Frannie had to pray. It took 15 years of her putting up with my mess. You got one wants growth. One wants comfort.
Right.
You know, some people, right. So all these things are opposite. And what happens, honey?
Eventually, direction becomes more important than feeling.
Right. That's what we got to realize. So write this down. Put this in the chat. Direction matters more than affection. Direction matters more than affection. Where are you going? That's the key for today. You know, because we're not going to be able to get through everything today. Where are you going? Where is your family going? And ladies, if it's you, keep challenging your husband. Men, if your wife don't want to keep challenge each other, not out of animosity, not out of religion, not nagging, but just talking about it.
Actually demonstrating love.
Right, demonstrating love. Because here's this, write this down. Point number 2 for today. We're only going to get to 2 today. Shared faith creates shared direction. Shared faith creates shared direction. Joshua 24:15 says what?
But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
But as for me and my house. So one of the greatest blessings in our marriage, Frannie and I have been serving God together.
No doubt.
Not perfectly, right? Not that it didn't have and doesn't have challenges, right? But we did it together. We did it together, her and I.
Right.
Right.
Right. Shared faith
right
helps answers life's biggest questions. How will we raise our children?
Right.
What is our priority? Are we going to raise our children on activities? Is that first?
Right.
You are making sure they in things at the church and being there first. So what our priorities? How do we want to make our money? Who's first? Who's going to do the career first? Who's going to stay home?
Talking through it.
How will we handle trials?
Right.
Do we communicate?
Right.
Is everything will blow up and fight, drag out, knock down before we can get to a place of agreement.
Right. So faith becomes what? the compass, right? So faith becomes the compass. So write this down. Here's your key thought for this. Make a note. Families that worship together develop a common direction.
So true. Families
that worship together develop a common direction. This is all there is to it, folks. We can talk about it. We can go over it. But if you have God at the center of your marriage is going to have a much better chance of making it. It doesn't mean it's going to be trouble-free. It doesn't mean there's never going to be an issue. But you got to talk about it. You got to sit down together. You got to go over these things. Amen. Listen, over the next 6 or 7 weeks, we are going to systematically talk through these pillars that we feel are anchors to any lasting marriage. It's going to be very helpful. Invite a friend, tell a friend, forward it to them. If you got a text message today, if you're on the broadcast right now and you got a text message, put in the chat, I got a text. I just want to make sure. And next week, we're going to have a QR code everybody can kind of sign into to just make sure we have all your information correct. Listen, we love you. We hope this helped. Listen to me. Today at the church, what are we having today, Pastor Frannie?
Summer bash.
We're having our summer bash. What time does it start?
3 o'clock.
You could drop your kids off at 3 o'clock. Pastor Frannie's getting ready to leave here shortly.
Yes.
You could drop your kids off at 3 o'clock. We'll take care of them. You can go home. You can enjoy your afternoon a little bit. Maybe be intimate before you come to church. I don't know. Whatever y'all decide. I can't. Pastor Frannie's going to be at church. So anyway, but drop them off at church. Get to church tonight. We're going to continue tonight on truth, the foundation of our household, truth. So let's make sure that we get in there. Listen, I love you guys. Frannie loves you guys. Yes, we're excited for each and every one of you. We're praying for your marriages. Yes. We're praying for you if you're single. We're just praying for everyone who's joining these broadcasts. We're in prayer for you that life is getting better, that God's vision and purpose for your life is becoming clearer. That is what we are all about and what we're believing. So until tonight, Pastor Nick, Pastor Frannie saying, enjoy. Hold on, I got to get it. Go ahead. Ready? Enjoy life.